Welcome back to the channel. We've got a bit of a bonus video this week. It's a little add-on to the usual Friday one. So a very big thank you if you've got this far. You've clicked on, your watch time, comments and what have you is massively helpful. And today we've got something to look at. This thing. And instantly a load of you have gone, oh no, another one of these videos. Well, unfortunately, it's one of them things. There's no money in YouTube unless you're a big channel. I'm not paid for this video, however, they did send me out a Gucci piece of kit to have a look at and to show you guys. So thank you very much for your patience. If you're like, because the watch time and everything else, it always helps. And you might learn something. You might see a little option. You might not be interested in this particular power bank, but you might learn something about them that then comes in for future builds, future vehicle setups, or just general off-grid power. So what they sent out was the EcoFlow River 2 Max. It's not the best one, it's not the worst one, it's a kind of in-between one. And the reason I wanted this one over, say, one of the larger ones, one of the smaller ones, is this to me is the handiest size as an all-rounder. It's the fastest charging one on the market. In about an hour, maybe just over an hour, this can be fully charged off of mains. That means you can go to somewhere like a coffee shop, somewhere like that, where you're going to pull in, have a brew, get this charged back up, and then you have got another chunk of electricity to take with you. It's almost like resupplying with water or something like that. And as we live in a more techie world, and I think I get more into this than most people because of the YouTube, because of the drones, the cameras, the laptops, all the other gear that comes with it, I look a little bit deeper into it. So this little unit, although it is very, very small, it packs a punch. The reason it packs a punch is basically it's got a mode called X Boost, which doubles its output for a short period of time. So when you're looking at these power banks and you need to look at the size of the outputs on the front of it against the equipment that you want to charge, if you've got something like a diesel heater, that initial power up is massive. Once it's got to temperature, it then drops right down and goes to like 1 amp per hour, which is quite a small output for something that's producing heat. That means in a lot of situations you're buying a much bigger power bank than what you need just to take that initial surge. Same with a lot of electrical appliances. So to have the X Boost on is a very, very good feature. So this unit itself will do over 3,000 cycles on these batteries, and what that equates to is around 10 years of using it every single day. And when you say it's got 10 years worth of use of every single day and a 5-year warranty, although these power banks are just an expensive item, full stop, you can then say, right, it's X amount for the unit, but if this lasts me a warranted period of 5 years, up to a 10-year potential life out of the batteries, or more if you're not using it every day, then you kind of break that cost down and down and down. I can't live without a power bank now, and that's just purely because I like to be off-grid. In the couple of weeks that I've had this power bank, I've used it more at work than anywhere else. There's multiple ways of charging this unit. You can either do it from the mains at home, like I say, an hour you're fully charged, which is unreal. The other ways you can do it is either off of solar, and they do multiple different size solar panels to go with these units. Personally, I've got the, I think it's 200, 220 watts, something like that. Big solar system. The other way is to charge directly from your cigarette lighter, your 12 volt source from your vehicle as you're driving. So that's the equivalent of your DC to DC on your big electrical system built in. And then on top of it, a feature that I haven't seen from other ones, I don't know whether they do it or not, but I thought it was quite clever, is USB. So you know there's plenty of places where you can plug in a USB and go straight into the front of here, charge the thing up from that. There is mass differences when it comes to the charge rates, with the 240 being an hour or so against the 12 volt 6 volt kind of charging. They can take 3 to 6 hours, which is going to be dependent on things like, say if you're using the USB and it's a cheap, you know yourself, when you've got like a cheap charger, it doesn't charge very well, it's going to take the longer 6 hours, isn't it? Whereas if you've got a powerful alternator on your vehicle, a good supply cable, and charge that in, it's going to be quicker. So to give you a little bit of an idea on this tiny little unit, this is 500 watts that this will knock out. And if you get on the X Boost feature, it'll double that to 1,000 watts, which 1,000 watts, you're looking at some larger appliances there, you know, appliances with heating elements, that kind of thing. These do have a lot of different uses, and I'd say as electric's getting more and more expensive and power cuts are being threatened more and more, you've then got to start to get a little bit clever with your electric. For instance, last summer when it was really hot, I thought, well, I've got all this kit in the house, let's see what we can do. So through the day, I'd got the other version of this that I've got on charge in the bedroom window facing south. So what that was doing is putting the energy in there through the day when it's hammering in with the sun, and then on the evening, little electric fan plugged into this on an evening, blowing away. And it's just free energy. You're not then worried about how much it's costing to have something on for 7-8 hours while you're asleep. You've just got that bit of comfort. You've got that little bit of a safety net. If the power goes off, because I've got a couple of these units and I've got, you know, other neighbours and whatnot, I know that I've got enough energy to run my house comfortably for a period of time that I can go next door and go, do you know what, charge your stuff up, you've got a bit of electric, you can have a brew, something like that. Because bear in mind, if most people's power goes off, it's not just the electric that goes off. Your boiler's not going to work because you need that electricity. There's other items that need the electric to make them appliances work. So just bear that in mind. These are useful bits of kit. So one of my biggest gripes with power banks, especially the bigger ones, is, and I've done it myself, where I've been out with my 1500 watt of another brand, and all I've ended up using over the weekend, because it's been cold, I've not had to run a fridge or anything, but I have had to charge my phones, my GoPros, my drones, things like that. Just turning the power bank on itself uses power, because it's got a display in there, it's got a battery management system in there, it's got fans that keep things cool. So it's using power even when you're not charging something. So I've put my phone on charge, as I do, gone to sleep, woke up, and it's used a massive proportion of the battery, and I thought, oh, hold on a minute, it doesn't take that much to charge a battery. Over the space of a long weekend, out of a 1500 watt power bank, it had taken like 30-40%, and I'm thinking, well, look, this isn't good for a long-term solution. What this allows you to do, because it's got an app that goes to your mobile phone, there's a multitude of different features that you can go into there and you can program, and one of them that I really liked is like an automatic power off mode. So you can say, I want you to run for this amount of time and then shut off, and you can do that separate. You can break that down for either the AC or the entire unit, which I think that is an absolute must, because energy is a resource, and I think as it becomes more and more of a luxury from something that you just turn a light on and it kind of works, you're going to start to ration it, and you're going to start to use it because it will be expensive, like fuel. Like fuel's gone up. You're not just going to the coast for breakfast or something like that, like I used to do. It then becomes something where it's like, it's a treat. So use your resources wisely, and that allows you to manage a lot more than just plugging something in and remembering to turn it off. So as far as design, there's some clever little options on this. Just little things like the grab handle, okay? It's at the rear, it's at the top. The cool thing about that, and I know people are going to be more interested in the techie side of things, but it's the ergonomics, and this has got to be livable, is you can still grab it, you can still carry it, it's still mega light, I can hold it arm's length, it's no issue whatsoever. But that then gives you free space, flat surface on the top. Those of you that are more used to camping, say basher camping, tent camping, things like that, you want to keep stuff off the ground and where you can see it. Flat surfaces are at a premium. You've got one here, so you can put your phone on charge, put it on top, you know it's safe, you know you're not going to lose it. Torches, put them on charge, you know they're safe, put them on top, you're not going to lose them. It's the little things. On the front of it, we've got 2 AC outlets. On each of these outlets, or each of these sections of power, you can turn them on. So the DC on and off, it's switchable on the front. The AC, you're turning the inverter on and off. So that way, you're only using the energy that you need to. For myself, the vast majority of the time, it is on the DC side of it, so it uses a lot less. When I do need to use the AC, you just click it on as and when you need, and like I say, you can control that through your phone. I'm not massive on the app side purely because it tells you everything on the screen and it gives you an amazing readout to how much battery life's left, percentage wise, how many hours you're going to run at your current usage, which then that teaches you how thirsty your items are, so then you know for future how to ration the energy that you've got. And then it also tells you how much power's coming in and how much power's going out, which is fantastic. You wouldn't think that you would need all that information. You just think, just tell me how much is left in it. But it allows you to learn what items are thirsty and how many items you can run for how long. i.e., like I say, I've been using this for work. I've been plugging my drill batteries and stuff into it. What I've then been doing is, as I'm driving, and this is in the back of the van's charging this up as I'm driving. Then when I get to wherever I am, I can then charge my DeWalt batteries off of this. I could also have this charging the DeWalt batteries while I'm driving, but I'm playing with it at the minute. Yes, you can get a range of different sizes, and if you're going to go for something that controls your whole camper van, your whole van camping setup, I'd probably say you need a little bit bigger one. The reason I like this size is because, as you're aware, my vehicles are already massively set up with power. I mean, this one not so much because I'm still working on the thing, but massively set up with power. This to me is my grab and go. Okay, so if I know I'm going out filming, if I'm jumping in with someone else, that's coming with me, because I know that I've then got a full weekend's worth of power. If you're someone that's got a camper van or you car camp or something like that, and you just need something for a weekend's power, that's your option. It's enough, if that makes sense, because you've got to trade off cost, weight, size, and how much power it's actually going to kick out. And it's one of them things. I've had 1,000-watt power banks, I've had 500s. I tend to take the 500 with me because I don't need the output of the bigger one because I've got the vehicle, if that makes sense. So little design features that I like is the 240-volt plug. Normally on something like this you'll have a plug that'll then go down to a transformer that'll then go to like a kettle lead that you'll plug in. That way it's easy to lose, break, or it's quite large to store. On this one we've got a 1.5 meter lead or thereabouts. You've got your 240 plug and you've got your kettle lead in a wanna, which, one, if you lose or break that, you can get another one very, very easily, and two, it stores very, very small, so it gives you a nice little option for that. Same with the 12-volt socket. Nice and easy. It's a common part. It's only the end of it that's going to be any different that plugs into the back. And the USB side of things, that's going to be generic regardless, isn't it? So that's always going to be very easy. And like I say, this is the kind of thing where if you're out, you can go to a coffee shop when you're out in the hills or something like that, where you pull in, you could eat, I mean, the amount of times you can see an outside outlet, you can just be cheeky, plug it in. If you can get half an hour, an hour out of it, happy days, you're back full, you've got more energy again. With it being a small unit, you're kind of limited on your capacity of the battery, but with it being such a fast charge, you can then replenish that very, very quickly. And having a large solar bank that you can get as one of these kits or as an add-on, you've then got the potential of banging more solar back in again. Downside is, I'm saying solar at the minute, but I'd love to give you an example of it, but it's February, we're in the UK, it keeps raining on me, there's cloud cover everywhere, so there's absolutely nothing coming in, so I can't show you that. However, on the days where the weather is playing the game, it's a massive, massive game changer as regards getting that power back in without having to go on grid. So once again, if you've made it this far, massive, massive thank you, because like I say, the watch time, the comments, the analytics, it does help, it does make a big difference. I don't know whether you like these little bonus videos on top of your weekly video, as well as it's one of them things. I don't want to make this the weekly video because at the end of the day it's more product biased, which is not for everybody. I can appreciate that, but it's a way of integrating the stuff into the channel, and like I say, it's a way of getting me a little bit more kit. It's a way of getting the lads a little bit more kit, without kind of selling out too much, if that makes sense, because at the end of the day, bills need to be paid. What I would say for anybody interested in it, there is information in the description box down below, and as always, I'm going to keep this on test. This will be getting some use. You will see how this progresses, and you know I'll be open and honest about anything that does arise with it if I do have issues with it. Like I say, the other power bank that's failed with me, I've got to get to the bottom of getting that returned and getting another one back before I'm going to say too much about that one. But like I say, products break, that's not an issue. It's how a company will then resolve that issue that's the main thing for me. And like anything in life, there's issues, shit happens. It's how you deal with it that really matters. For those of you that did watch all this video, next week's video that'll be in a few days will be a 4x4 Sprinter tour. And it's not just any 4x4 Sprinter, it's the reason I bought this thing. So you'll have seen it on the Green Lane video where we all went off-road and whatnot, so check out the playlists on it. But yeah, it'll be the walk round. It's a very similar layout to what I'm putting in here, so if you, as much as I waffle on about stuff's going to go here, there and everywhere, you can actually see why I've gone down this route, why I've gone away from Land Rovers, and why this is such a good option for my personal circumstance. So once again, thank you very much, thank you for watching, thanks for your analytics, and yeah, if you can stick a playlist on for the dog or something like that and get that watch time up, it's much appreciated. I will see you on the next one.